So I could talk to these guys again. I feel like maybe I really have done everything other than go on a date with what's her name.
Hello. Isn't this a fine morning?
Fell building again. I already heard about all this. Absolutely all of it. Taking damage from my vivid imagination. Oh, a narrative game where you have to decipher an ancient language. So it was like a cross between this and the Gostak. Sounds heamy. Alright, let me shiver up again. What was my... There's only two things that I have, right? There's this. And there was one other thing. Was it this? No. Can I? Oh, I'm already wearing it. Okay. Rasking the cloud on the building. Darn. Listen to him, but for what? Ruby whistling? The crackle of the bonfire? Some errant whisper? Or a dog barking? What am I doing here? What are you doing here? The terrible cold comes over you as you think the words. They echo in your skull, alien suddenly, as if said by someone else, someone outside you, around you, not you. It's Ever! Damn. Okay, so I need to spend a shiver point. I'll do that. Bloop. Suddenly there's a sigh, carried on the molecules around you, moving, flowing from high pressure to low, like that of a woman emptying her lungs. She wraps the collapsing stone box in front of you in her breath, flowing through it. Where does it go? In through the collapsed roof, flowing down a concrete staircase to the basement, sweeping away footprints in the dust on the stairs, and then the beach below the boardwalk is its winding tunnels a whisper away. What is happening? She's down there. I think she's down there, below this building. Okay, why? I've looked everywhere else. Right, how do we get in there? The doors were on the collapsed side of this building. They're gone, basically. Savoir-faire says it's finally my turn to shine. There's a ladder next to this sign. Perhaps we can climb it. Enter through the roof. Perhaps you can climb them. We are not climbing anything. I'm 43 years old and plan to live to see 70. Some of the rungs are missing. Yeah, that doesn't look good at all. The distances between the remaining rungs are rather wide. You'd have to use the mounting brackets. However, they seem corroded, and the peeling rust is razor sharp. In addition, the first rung is going to be tough to reach. It's, what, 3 meters above ground? And you're 180? 190. I'm a giant. Okay, but still, the roof is collapsing, and the wind gets pretty brutal up there. Dismounting from the ladder is going to be hard. Perhaps if you were to not climb the ladder instead, what if you were going to do something more subtle? What if you were to reconceptualize climbing the ladder? What if I don't climb? What if I just teleport? Teleportation is not a thing. Teleportation is a thing. It just needs a big concentration. Okay. Let's say teleportation is a thing. Wouldn't you need some kind of scientific apparatus to create a teleportation field? You can't just do it without an apparatus. Won't hurt to try. Who is Tiago? Where was he climbing? And why is this only a 12? Oh, okay. All right. Yep. I mean, I feel like there's an... This sounds like a trap. This sounds like this isn't real. Or maybe it's so easy because I have a 7 in savoir-faire. Hey, what's that? What's that? What's that over there? What's that? An easier way in? Could also be meta. That is possible. An old pipe peeks out from beneath the rotting boards of the boardwalk. Could this be an alternative path into the Feld building? A building like this must have multiple doors serving various functions. Perhaps a basement access? Your eyes slowly begin to adjust to the darkness inside the drainage pipe. What's in there? A thin layer of snow gleams inside the pipe. What else? As your eyes adjust, you see some trash. Crumpled up newspapers, cigarette butts. Someone has half-heartedly spray-painted skulls on the right side. And nothing. Broken glass from bottles thrown against the walls of the pipe. A syringe. Could we get into the Feld building through this pipe? Given that this isn't a martial arts thriller, it's highly unlikely, and not without risk to our health either. However, the pipe suggests there may be an entrance to the basement around. The lieutenant pushes aside the reeds and looks around. And it's right here, a maintenance door. He points to a rusted metal double door to the right of the pipe, obscured by the reeds. The subtle approach isn't going to work on this one. My physical instrument is terrible. I guess I'm more interested in teleporting to If I equip the pry bar, I bet I would get like a +10 or something. I rolled a 2 and succeeded. Thank you, savoir-faire. All you need to do is close your eyes and concentrate. Darkness enfolds you. You can feel the distance between the bench and the first rung of the ladder. All you need to is do it. Zoot! Zap! Pow! Crinkle! It's like magic. You feel yourself disappear, your atoms fading out of existence. Okay, well, that's impressive, but you find yourself on the roof, having mastered the art of physical displacement. I did it, Kim. I teleported. I just saw you climb the ladder. You just climbed it, like a regular person. No, not like a regular person, like a hell spider. The wind at the top of the building starts howling loudly, blowing away the lieutenant's voice. Faintly, you hear, "Never mind. Find a way to let me in when you get inside. Don't go adventuring without backup, especially if we think the suspect may be hiding here." The central support beam has been destroyed by artillery fire. Can I get up there? No. Yeah, I guess most people don't have a 7 in savoir-faire, so it is conceivable that I could have had like a 2 or something, and it would have been like, yeah, it's really difficult. You can barely do it. The glass is covered with grime and dust. You can barely see out. Take out your flashlight. And my boombox. And my gun, maybe. You never know. Holding the gun feels natural and satisfying. It's like an extension of your arm. The polished wood handle almost fusing into your palm. I think my hand recognizes it. Reminds you of the first day you held it, with fear and respect, hoping you don't have to use it. In vain. The sun was out in Jamrock. It was so long ago. Sheath your sidearm, officer. A serious law official, cop by the book, should know to only unholster their service weapon when using it is unavoidable. Oh, interesting. Okay, so maybe it is better to not have it equipped. However, it might also be a good idea to get drunk right now. A faded picture postcard from the end of the last century shows Martinique as it was before the Revolution. It's the height of summer. Rue de Saint-Ghislain is teeming with parasol-wielding bourgeoisie, and the Wild Pines flags buttress the walkway. Nothing is written on the back. This collapse nearly sealed the basement. One can barely squeeze by. Antiquated office furniture. Last century, maybe? This overturned table is covered in orange mildew, crawling with something. Old file folders in the cart, documents silvery with mold. Series of thick, dusty panes of glass. This isn't just glass, these are old computation components. These are computer components? Yes, filament memories. From the time when wires were casting glass slides with an inlaid nervous system. How'd they do that? And why? The how was a closely guarded secret. Something that was locked in safes and human heads across the river where they were manufactured. As to why, your fingers don't know. So Encyclopedia chimes in. The why is easy, because they hadn't come up with modern silicon-based systems yet. For vitreous cast filament memories, though, these seem incredibly advanced. Oh my. Fancy clothes. A muted brown suit jacket, perfect for a day at the office or an evening at the cafe. The red rose at the bottom left breast pocket is slowly wilting. I'm walking in here because I suspect that there are times in the game when they tell you it's better to walk, and I wonder if it's being tracked, like, at all times. A crevice in the wall. Like, if it's possible that, stale fabric smell and dust. No one slept here in months, maybe years. If it's possible that me running will, like, alert her so that she, leaves. Revolutionary's hat. Revolutionary propaganda on the bunk bed. Ancient flyers and brochures. These pots and plates are full of dust and spider webs. Yuck. Same slit window you saw from outside. Which is funny because it would have a different description if I hadn't seen it from outside. Could this have been the killer's hideout and this narrow window the point of origin of the shot that killed the mercenary? This does look like an embrasure? A slit made for shooting out of. Outside the window, desolation. Snow falls softly onto the coastal sand where it melts almost instantly. On rooftops, it lingers. Would this have been a good hideout for the sniper? It's a good place to hide, but it doesn't look like anyone has stayed here in a while. Is it feasible to hit a target in the whirling in rags from this window? No, it's not. No matter how you crane your neck, you can't see the whole of the whirling in rags, and certainly not the relevant segment of the top floor. All right. Somehow, finally, the boardwalk has been crossed off. We'll get to the island someday. I know it's an English word. A mustachioed and mutton-chopped man amateurishly amateurishly depicted, gazes at you with sad eyes. A plaque reads, K. Mazov. There is a spider web in the lower left corner of the portrait. So we leave. No, I'll brush it. Years' worth of dust is shaken off. The full head of hair, matched by an ample mustache and sideburns, look a bit silly. Someone crouches, heels digging into wet sand. Hands sweep across the sand, grains sticking to the frayed skin of the fingertips. An old man sits on a slab of concrete and taps his fingers against the glass of a scope. You shudder. What? Boot prints in the sand. One of the soles appears more worn than the other. Something in the air. An unnatural buzzing. It's bees! The tunnel collapsed. You'll have to find another way around. And so I shall. Oh yeah, you can see footprints on the ground. Getting louder, the buzzing sound. A concrete pipe buried in sand and dust. I'm also wondering if I should turn off the flashlight. Aha. Suddenly, your entire body is paralyzed. Aggressive white noise fills your skull. A strange pain like you've never felt before. The static overcomes you. Game over. The darkness takes over as you feel yourself slipping into an unknown mute state. Oh, it's death. This is the end. An officer of the RCM hot on the track of a suspect died yesterday of causes yet to be determined. I told him not to go after the suspect without me, said Lieutenant Kim Kitsuragi, the deceased's partner on the case, but it seems he wanted to play the hero. It's just like him to run into the lion's den. There were no lions. There were bees. Fly unzipped and arms flailing, said Satellite Officer Jean Vicmare, friend and colleague of the officer. If I ever saw a man with a death wish. It really did kill me. Well, I never. How was I supposed to know that the door wasn't that way? Although, I guess the buzzing. How did I die? I died of static. It was very confusing. So, in my exploration, I heard buzzing noises and continued to go closer to them. And then I found, just as I found Ruby, like, as I walked close, like, into a room where I could see her, it was suddenly like, oh, there's a strange feeling you've never felt before, and you die from it. That's only my second death so far. The first one being because I lost a hit point and didn't know how to cure myself. Oh, I should, just to retrace my steps fully, equip the gun again and get this little thought. Oh, I also didn't notice the door is right here. 2 rusty metal plates that slide apart form a crude door. It's been here under the boardwalk for a while. The doors seem to be on rails, but they've gotten jammed. You grab a side and put some strength into prying it open. With the help of your partner, the 2 metal panels slide open with a creak. Hope no one dangerous heard that. Time to investigate these passages. Let's move quietly and not make more sound. I was already doing that. Savoir faire. You don't have to pretend like I don't know how reality works. That's really funny that I really did already guess that that was the case. Could the killer have used this as a hideout? Krasmazov, what a troublemaker he was. Looks like some Latter-day Radicals were hiding out here. They left a long time ago. How long? Half a century? This was probably part of the network of defense posts the communards built against the amphibious landing. I think the purpose of this bunker was to produce propaganda. It would have had radio equipment back then, but that's all been looted. Maybe I should move in here. It seems cozy. Oh, the Mazov must be found in that student's room. Millions of depictions of Mazov have been produced. They're not all connected. Besides, that looked like some student. The youths always go for this kind of stuff. As well as secret weapon caches and secret bunkers. We have found a lot of those lately. I guess what most people think of as history tends to linger in rundown neighborhoods. Martinez being what it is, no one has gone through the trouble of cleaning out the old bunkers. Did someone have stopped through here recently? No, I think we've stumbled on a piece of history. Very, very interested to learn how how having Kim with me is going to stop me from dying up here. Also fun that, like, the conversation was different. The, you know, me looking out the window myself versus talking to him. This might also be different. Computer components. Did that. He chimes in. Old cybernetics. So it is. I think these used to form a single system slotted in the wall. The Feld playback experiment? These? No, these are old filament memories. I hope you're not expecting to find that device here. You'll be disappointed. I'm gonna try turning off the flashlight. There it is again. Like a swarm of hornets buzzing under your scalp. A strange tingling that you can almost smell. Lieutenant, do you feel something? A pain, a strange tingling. I don't feel it, but... What's that behind the arch? We should still be careful. There were footprints back there. I'm pretty sure they were fresh. Saw them too. Footprints with the right sole worn smooth. Looks like our suspect. If she's in here, we need to plan our next step carefully. Once we detain a credible suspect, who knows what the Union and Wild Pines will do? We'll set in motion events we have no control over. You will upset the balance of power in Martinez. The deadlock between the company and the Union will destabilize. Right. This part of town is a fine clockwork puzzle. Disturb its peace and it will start breaking down uncontrollably. Keep calm. Go over the whole situation in detail. This, okay, so we'll find out in a few minutes anyway, but I wonder, was I killed by something that was set up here, or is this like, is this about the whole like game world and the fact, the weirdness of it? Like, did I hit some kind of quantum ripple or something? Like, I was headed towards an ending that wasn't possible, and that reality corrected itself by killing me, or something crazy like that? Or does she just have a magic static murder device? Keep calm, go over we still don't know the full extent of Everard's plans. I told Joyce maybe we should see Everard again, or we solved the strike deadlock by telling Joyce about the Union's plans. How bad do you think things could get? We're not responsible for what we can't predict, are we? I don't think the entire city will be razed to the ground. If you can't predict it, there's nothing you could have done. I wonder if this is the end of the game that we're coming up on. Like, if what we decide to do with her, just if the rest of it is just, and here's the ending that you got, we'll find out. We solved the strike deadlock by telling Joyce about the Union's plans. I still don't think that was a good idea, but yes, our affairs with the Wild Pines are in order, since she isn't in Martinez anymore. Maybe we should see Everard again? Like, before coming down here to confront her, we should go... No. I think I see a cavern. Lieutenant's whisper echoes down the tunnel. Maybe more cellars? I think we've been careful enough. We still have the element of surprise. I wouldn't be so sure. Haven't exactly been sneaking. Listen, savoir-faire. I've been doing a great job sneaking. Once we go deeper, there'll be no turning back. Ah! I didn't mean to run. Everything is ruined. Bad ending. Reload the save. Okay, she did have a static murder machine. Okay. Suddenly your entire body is paralyzed. Aggressive white noise fills your skull. A strange pain like you've never felt before. Through the static you hear a woman's voice. It's like 1,000 radio stations are being blasted into your head all at once, but her words are the only ones you can make out.
I know you're feeling pretty uncomfortable right now. Don't move too much or fight it. That'll just make it worse. Can't say it's a pleasure, officer. I was really hoping not to make your acquaintance. But here we are.
As she says the word officer, you feel a spike in the agony. It sounds like the entire radio frequency range is screaming directly into your neural pathways. Aren't I already covering my ears? I'm gonna do it. No! No, buddy, that's not going to help. You can't shield yourself from this. It's an entirely new type of experience. Way worse than all the previous ones. Don't focus on the pain. Focus on doing your job. Tell her she's under arrest. What's happening to me?
Latitude compressor. You and your partner have been caught in its field.
You're using one of those devices to send signals through the pale on me?
Wow, check out the big brains on you. You're not entirely wrong.
13684137891
The
his
pale
says.
latitude compressor is used to sort of make the pail more manageable. With a lot of these, you can force a radio signal grid on the pail, literally crunch the distance across it. Signals are relayed across a series of repeater stations fixed to buoys. Not a fun job manning those stations. All alone out there in the pale. People lose their minds in just a few years.
So, what we are experiencing is a concentration of radio waves.
He gestures towards something with great effort.
Precisely. This is an industrial strength paraboloid. It's meant for forcing dimensions on something that doesn't have them. Needless to say, the frequencies used are out of this world. At the upper limit is the large prime number generator station. It's used specifically for pale latitude compression. That's why you might be hearing some numbers. But you might also hear, or think you're hearing, local radio chatter.
This is weird. She likes telling you about the machine. Keep her talking. Look for an opportunity to break loose. Have you experienced the compressor yourself?
I stuck my head in there before using it on you. Seemed like the ethical thing to do. Can't say that I enjoyed it. The field was weaker, but I can imagine what you're going through.
How did you
I
get your
built it
hands on this
myself.
thing? And she's proud of it too, as she ought to. This is way beyond your abilities.
That's illegal. I'm guessing it's patented. To be beyond that, I don't do it.
Oh yeah, way beyond.
This is great, but let's talk about the man who was killed.
Let's not talk about that shit. You were hunting me and fell into my trap instead. That's all there is to say about it.
So she thinks of you as cops, not as hunters, not cops, and of herself as merely prey.
If you've got something really important to say, you can do it through the white noise.
2367112 AI. If you're looking for a deal on mattresses,
Damn this.
God damn it. Fine. If you really want to talk, I can dial it down. I've also got a gun, by the way.
she steps reluctantly out of the shadows. The pain lessens. The gun she's carrying is a 2-barreled front loader, not like the murder weapon. Well, it doesn't feel much better, but you can form sentences now. Thinking doesn't seem to hurt as much. There's only 3 meters between you and the machine. If you keep her distracted for long enough, maybe. Be careful when you make your move. That'll be it for questions. Bide your time. My pain threshold is not good. That will be very difficult. How did you know we were coming? Heard you in the passages, and I've been preparing for quite a while. Hiding bullets under floorboards? So you found my shack, huh? I'm not surprised. Why hide the bullet, though? This could have turned out pretty bad for me if you hadn't walked right into 25 bands of ultra-high frequencies. That's her admitting the bullet was an emergency exit. I ask this again and say... bullets. She didn't rat you out, by the way. So nice. That's one knife I didn't want to find in my back. I suppose the other knives she's finding out are there now. Hardy, for one. Preparing for a shootout? That's why you're hiding ammo? I was, before I caught you in the pale latitude compressor. I'm fine now. Did you shoot Lily? No, I didn't do it. I only helped stage the lynching, though I doubt that makes much of a difference to you. Who ratted me out, by the way? Was it Titus? No, he wouldn't have broken first. Classy was the first to share her suspicions. Oh, I knew the kitten had claws, but not like this. She couldn't have known I was on the coast. How did you find me? Titus told me. It took some convincing. Fuck. It took some convincing my ass. And those guys liked me. I know it. If this is what happens to people who I like... The dull despair is creeping into her voice. How the fuck did the rest of you get by? Does she mean that you're not a person whom other people like? Do it by asking questions, and I have some for you. Like what? I already told you I didn't do it. Strong moral compass. She still wants the opportunity to make a case for herself. You have a gun. And? I see it's a front loader. Do you have another gun somewhere? Sure don't. A breech loader? No. This is such a wipeout. What kind of gun is it? Natch 80 front loader, 2-barreled. Not really what you were looking for, I'm guessing. That isn't it. That merc was probably shot from a distance with a military-grade rifle. Otherwise, everyone at the Whirling would have heard the shot downstairs. Where did you get it? Gun store. What gun store? Trigger Happy Jacks. Doesn't sound like the name of a real store. What did you think? That I'm gonna squeal my gun supplier? Not that kind of gal. Evidence. Do you have an alibi for when Lely was shot? I was with the boys the whole night. I hope they at least bothered to impress that upon you. How long do they say? I don't remember. Was it 10 minutes? Was it 15? I think it was 15. I'm sure they also made some funny remarks about it. I've driven a lot of long haul and chugged a lot of beer, man. Can't do either without some power of mind over bladder. And anyway, that wouldn't have been enough time. Our investigation showed 15 minutes was just enough time to commit the murder. Also this. No one takes a 15-minute leak. Fuck it. I might have also stopped by the bar. Play pinball much? Not since I was 14 and hanging out in the owner diner in Dardan. Haven't been into low-risk, no-reward games since moving to the city. Why? There are some mysterious pinball machines in some pretty mysterious rooms in the Whirling. Probably some ghosts from the time of the suzerain. Wait. Not really interested in supernatural mysteries. I happen to be a paranatural detective. No, not right now. How about elevators? You like elevators? Not even quaint old rickety ones? God damn it. She knows you're not an antiques enthusiast. Not my jurisdiction. Also doesn't sound like she used that secret route. There's a secret way from the ground floor of the Whirling to the roof. Don't know it. But also, evaluating her competence as a police officer. The shot couldn't have come from the roof, or we all would have heard it downstairs. She has a point there. No one mentioned. Didn't go super well. You gotta lay something better on her. You liked Classia a lot. I considered her a good friend. Yeah. See, we didn't... So if we don't think that she knew about the passage, then she wasn't the one... Right? Because that's the only way in there, is if you knew about the pinball machine passage. You wanted to be more than just friends. Oh, so that's where you were going with. You said you wanted to run away with her. It's a very sentimental way of putting it. We both had past we didn't want to catch up with us. And we enjoyed listening to music together. Why not go on a road trip? Alright, fine. I was into her. Classy was into me, too, for a time. I know it. We even fooled around once. And yeah, after that, I thought maybe we could have a go of it. Hold on, she only likes truly buff men. She does know how to pick 'em. Then what happened? She rejected me with some wishy-washy bullshit about how she was confused because she felt so close to me and valued my friendship so much, and how guilty she felt for leading me on. I knew that wasn't the whole story, but I thought, fine, I'll take it and move on. And despite everything, you helped her out by staging the lynching? Yeah, the girl seemed terrified. The merc was beyond caring what happened to his mortal coil. It was a no-brainer. Did you... we need to know this. Did she actually threaten her? One time when we'd both been drinking, I said some heating things about how dangerous her patterns with men were. I was a little worried she'd blow it out of proportion in her head. All the drugs she was doing can make you feel like you're living in a DeLorean tragedy. Did you leave any flower? I don't know why the flowers... No gifts of flowers and candy really aren't my style. They weren't just flowers, they're symbols of revolution. So now I'm leaving revolutionary symbols around. Come on. Classy was mourning. I never did understand why, when someone dies, a hot house worth of flowers has to die too. Alright, so it wasn't you. Hang out on rooftops? Classy's rooftop? I've hung out there. She's got this great antenna. What antenna? I used it to tune into RCM frequencies. It's how I knew to be prepared for your arrival. Is that the only reason you hung out on the rooftop? The view's pretty bomb too, but you might say the antenna was the main attraction, along with Classier. Sure you didn't shoot the merc from the roof? Okay, let's take a step back. Who killed the merc if it wasn't you? How should I know? As I keep saying, he already had a bullet in his head when I got to him, and there hasn't been any useful gossip over the radio. Those rings around her eyes, her tired voice, she's been staying up late listening in on the conversations crisscrossing Martinez. Police radio? You've been following the case? Who hasn't? You know, I can still see him, and I can still see him there in Classier's room, lying on his side. He was still warm. I'm not getting any bonuses to this. But the bluish light coming through the broken window made him look as though he'd been dead for a good long while. What happened Sunday night? Tell me your version. She eyes you warily, as though gauging your sincerity. It's okay, we just want to... Alright, don't kill yourself over it. I was shooting the shit with Hardy and the boys over a few beers, like always. Then Classia comes in, all pale and shuddering. She sits down with a drink, trying to steady her nerves, so I grab a seat next to her. Classy said you knew something was wrong immediately. No, I really didn't. She's not that easy to read. I just assumed she'd done too much blow. It wouldn't be a first for her. But no such luck. She was in some deep shit. She asked me to come upstairs. The merc she'd been going with was lying on the bedroom floor, dead. I knew she couldn't get the authorities involved, so yeah. You made it look like he'd been hanged. Classy said you seemed to have a plan prepared when you got there. What? No, faking a lynching was her idea. Her idea? Yeah, in cold blood. It really surprised me how quickly she was able to get a hold of herself once we got up there. It was like she was another person. The party girl was gone. She asked me to help her drag him into the shower, so she could wind the shower head around his neck to fake lividity. Then she dressed him, while I went to get the Hardy Boys. That's bad that she'd be so calm. Yeah, I wasn't sure whether to admire her or be disturbed. Do you think she killed Lily herself? As I keep telling you cops, we didn't hear anything downstairs. No gunshot, nothing. But even if this is true, weren't you worried this lynching might lead to war? The thought crossed my mind, but the mercenary's death was going to have repercussions either way, although the way things are going, fuck it. I'm not responsible for these people. I'm not responsible for these people after what they did to me. If you didn't kill him, why hide? I saw you roll into town. I wasn't about to stick around for questioning like a goddamn La Puta Madre agent. So this is what she was scared to tell Titus. This cop. What do you mean? Yes, you. Everyone says you're his peon, his human can opener. Oh no! Through the sudden sharp pain in your head, you hear the lieutenant mumble something to himself. Fucking hell, and why me? You hear through the white noise. It's especially bad suddenly. Felt like a vein exploded. Who's everyone? How do you know this? Everyone in Jamrock. The cops? The criminals? Why do you think I'm holed up in here with a goddamn death ray waiting for you? If she knows about that, she must know your real name, too. There's no way I could get here and not know my name. You must... Harry Dubois, she replies quickly. One corrupt motherfucker with the disco pants and the funny tie. Agent to La Puta Madre. So she knows your name. That doesn't mean you're on the take. Criminals make up boogeyman stories about cops all the time. I'm no one's agent. I don't even know who that is. Right, sure you don't know. Could you tell me about it? I'm sure La Puta Madre will explain himself will explain it all to you soon enough. Yeah, what did you do to this Madre anyway? You know what I did. I fucked him over. And now I have Harry Can Opener in my lair. Fucking Titus. One thing. Possibly small, but she said you rolled into town. Was that you singular or plural? She might know something. When I came into town, was there anyone with me? Yeah, you had your death squad with you. What happened to them anyway? Who was in this squad? Well, it wasn't this scrawny dude. You had 2 guys and a lady. The guys looked pretty buff. Lady wasn't bad either. What else can you tell me? One of the guys seemed chipper, a blonde, and the other had a brooding something or other about him. And the woman was the only one in uniform. All were carrying. That sound about right? No idea who these people are, literally. Satellite Officer Vic Mayer looks out the window grimly and puts his coffee down and turns to Patrol Officer Minot. We can either take a room here at the Whirling or go home for today. Let's go home, Jean. Nothing's going to happen today, she responds quietly. Jean takes his blonde wig off. Call Heidelstein. He can give us a ride. I think I know them. They're in Martinez. Fantastic. I've got to get on the road. Then you can find your friends, unless you have anything pressing to ask me. The art nerd? The what? What? Are you? Was that his name? I don't remember his name. I guess it could be. You at the bunker next door? The communist hideout. Don't know anything about it. No one's been around since I set up camp. But I'm sure I'm not the first vagabond to... Oh no! Keep calm. Breathe in. After the pain recedes, it's a little clearer. Alright. Momentary window of clarity. This is my chance! I guess. So I'm pretty sure she's not responsible, but I still want to arrest her. We're gonna try it. She still has a gun and could shoot me right now? Not sure why she isn't. You did it. The compressor lies broken on its side. It's quiet in your head again. It still hurts like hell, but... You're under arrest. She looks at the machine, assessing the damage. Her hand trembles. Oh, fuck it. Uh-oh. If I say anything, yeah. If I hesitate at all, there's a chance that she just does it, and I have a reasonable chance of making this, I guess. Unfortunately, I'm wearing my bum hat that gives me a -1, I think. Whew, good roll. She's truly desperate. She thinks she has no other options. You need to give her options. What options? You know. Maybe I can still talk her out of it. This is how you talk her out of it. It's the only scenario in which she lives. I could let her go, but I could have let her go without breaking the machine. Just walk away. She stares at you, frozen, the gun still in her mouth, eyes filled with dark intensity. Then something shifts in her. Her neck and shoulders relax, and her grip on the gun loosens. You don't have to do this. I'm not cornered. I'm letting you go. Day of miracles, she says, pulling the gun out of her mouth, eyes still fixed on you. Then she turns her gaze to the tunnel behind you. I'll take it. She runs past you, then past the lieutenant, and disappears into the darkness of the tunnel. I had still wanted to arrest her, actually. Good call. Are you sure? Yeah, I'm sure. I would have done the same had I not been incapacitated. I think she didn't do it. Her tent. We should check it out.